Hello, it's 20 minutes in 1 in the night, afternoon. It's Saturday, the 6th October, and we are live today. And I will go out on the road. So, just a moment, I will go out my door. Yes, hello. Now we stand outside in Denmark, in Vadeholm, and I want to explain you something. Can you see that? No. That's my home. Where I live, right there, I can tell you a little about that one. In the first apartment, I have a Forlander from Poland, and he always take the chance to spam me on my account when my account have a hole through the net. So I'm never sure when I get spammed from somebody on the net about it's him or it's actually the people who own the profile on Instagram. I've just noticed that. Then I have somebody else living downstairs too. I know they are not Danish too because they say hello, and we are living in Denmark, so it should be hi or good day and not hello. So they are from not Denmark too. Over them, we have some, I think they are Muslims. Yeah, they pretend to be Muslims. I think they're from Iran because they was with the Iran people when they play football, so that's why I think they are from Iran. In Denmark, we just have something with the police where they was closing down for Denmark. They was closing down, and in the same time, we have the earlier president from United States of New York in Denmark, Obama. He was on a visit over in Jylland. And on the same time, we have here in Denmark this coincidence with the police. There's hunting somebody from Iran. And I have just seen this man in my apartment just before when Obama was coming to our country, traveling with a big bag actually. And I know definitely there's a connection. That's not the only one. I will go a little bit more into details down here. So maybe that's what they call a false flag, if you have heard about that. Have you heard about that? Or else you can look it up on the net. A false flag. That's something they make in a democracy when they cannot get away with forcing people because they have rights. Then they can make a false flag. That means they have people who is witnesses false. All this just to have a success with maybe putting people on a mental institute, a hospital. And that one I will come back to a little bit later. Here over in number 7, there's a connection with some of the people who's living downstairs to a house on the end of the street. And from that house, there's a connection over in the red building, number 68. The connection, once again, we have a connection from me to the house. And in the house, we have a couple with 2 children. And from somebody I just appears on the street or in some places I come, have stand close to me when I was disclosing something about the people inside the house. And they come up on my side and say it was from the agency of CIA. And I have seen this man on the commune in Denmark. That means the state where you receive money from, the state where you are living in. And he definitely looked like an Irish army man, maybe earlier army person. Typical a person you could maybe compare with somebody in an action movie with spies and agents and mathematic people. So now you know what kind of type it is, you know. Then he lived together with a wife, and the wife did appear on the mental hospital when they, with a success, did get me forced into the hospital when I was denying some of the people that I know they have opened for in my phone. Open for. So when I wanted to create a connection to some Danish people, they close it down because they want to have a success with mixing me up with somebody else because of not giving Denmark a Danish couple of my kind. Then they want to mix it up. That's have something to do about human science that have been left over from the Second War. I know about that because I've studied it and I know what it's all about. Some people I've met on the street, that is connected to this organization, or many of them have a similar comment to me when I was talking with them, and that was something about green eyes, that they did like green eyes. And I have an idea that that was a suggestion to me for what I should hook up with, or something they want out of my next generation. But this woman is appearing on a mental hospital. Why did they force me on a mental hospital on lies? Because I denied the last woman they tried to force into my life in hope of getting a couple to some kind of sickness of the war that they are actually, they have a war in all the Muslims countries. I I'm not sure, but I have an idea that it did very much have something to do about that one and Israel and Palestine. Because there's this, through the intelligence agencies, there is this passion over man. Like you can have a passion for your car, or you can have a passion for your work. Then there's this passion over people, and that's people who somehow shows mind or body there is a little bit extra than the normal, that you actually can compare a little bit with religion, all what religion is based on, and there have been many wars in time, and there have been fragments of that kind of people that have been reason to put war in progress because of this science. Oh, somehow we, I'm not sure, but we can maybe comparing it with kind of royal people, because the royal people does not only sit on a castle, because kings have been out in towns where they burn it down earlier morning, and they did rape the women's, and once in a while there was coming boy or girl out of that, and generations of royal people have appeared. So it have never only sit on a castle. And I think the discussion is something about that they have some abilities that's making them special. Abilities they definitely want to have in a progress in the military to create soldiers with magical powers. It will appear as magical powers for people who don't have it. So if you show signs of that kind, you will be categorized as what do we call this? I forgot the word on that one. Damn it. Okay. But there's children who can maybe rain a lot of numbers together, just like that, just like a computer. They say too that they have some mental disorders, that they maybe cannot connect social with other people, or they have some tics in a way that they can show signs of aggressive behavior if somebody stopped them in their work so they cannot finish it or something like that, then it will be a big matter for them. But all this they put on their personality is a way of leading people away from them and collecting them so they are not falling in other hands, because they are informations. And if you read a little bit about that, then you know informations is what is running the world. So the people don't have their freedom. And this is what I'm trying to explain, who our enemies is and who they have actually ruined my life. And this is what I'm trying to explain you out there, what they actually are doing, because it's very confusing if you sit in my situation. And there will be people out there who sit in the situation, but there will be people around you, you hear? There can be people around you who will be aware over you if you give yourself the attention so they will notice you. Then there can appear a reaching hand reaching after you. But you will not know what hand you shall take, because they are in control of everything, and the hand that's reaching out for you can be their hand. So that is the fucked up shit that our intellect have to deal with. So now there have just been this with the police. They maybe make a false flag in our country. And I have a new neighbor where I live, living upstairs. And I have an idea about this person, that he is connected to I know that he studied politic science, and that's actually what I've sit with. So I know it's not a coincidence that he is living there, because it's nearly not a coincidence with nobody any longer who's living in this area where I live. I have another neighbor who he don't live in his apartment, and underneath that person, there's nobody living in that apartment either. And both of them, I can connect them. I could even connect them to the neighbors who's living over my apartment. And they did work for technology firms that was hired from the police. And now it's getting a little bit complicated, you see, because they was in cooperation on my road. We go over to the next door, number 8. Then we have a man who is, we are voting some people in who's taking decision about the place down here. And he is one of them. He have kept the green areas in many years down here, and take care about the. We have a pump that's pumping warm around. You take care of that too. You actually call those people that. I have some suggestions about that. He was first, I think, something about Deutschland, but later on I changed my mind because I heard somebody over the net when I did have a complication with him, and I find out that maybe it's not Deutsch but English. And then later on, there have been some complication with England and Russia. I'm not connecting it to my area, but it could have been a fragment of something to do with my person. What is the clock now? Let's see. The clock is 1, and you just hear a car and another car. It's always on the same time, always a pair. Where did we come to? Oh, yeah. Some people have suggested to me that it was actually this old man who had something to do with my personal account on the net. I had an experience and a feeling that, like I was saying when I start my conversation, that they want to control who I'm ending up with because of, yeah, um all the war that's taking place and my person. They have taken a role in a lot of the politic matters, but have never been heard and being put in a public. So I was getting the response from the public because they did try to prevent that I was getting a public face. Because if I was being a public face, then I was reaching more power to control the situation by myself. And that one, they did not want me to have. So they responded for what I was publishing, responded in such a way that I don't know about that is to honor a person if you say A and they actually try to make A real. In every politic you hear about in television or newspaper, because you understand it's the newspapers that sometimes is digging after the informations, and the politic people are using the media people to write their speeches and coming to giving them suggestions about politic matters. Always be in front, you know. That's what you have professional people to do. You have actually some people who try to predict the future, and after the people who try to predict the future about politic matters, they will try to make their own conclusions about that actually could be right, and then they will listen to people who have maybe more knowledge and make their politic after that in hope of being a better politic than everybody else. So they will win next time. That's what it's all about, winning and have right. So people like me is very important. We are running the countries. We are running the world, not the people you vote on. And there we have our problem. But we have brought in a model that does not allow people like us to run your countries. So, because we have right, we have always right. It's like a computer, not to discuss with. And that is what they fear. They fear the past that was being run by royal people. Some will say we are crazy, and they won't definitely make us crazy for taking that power away from our mouth. So now we have all the people that move in around us, and now they're driving a car more. That's funny. Just want to say, you just hear two cars, I said, and now there's one that's driving away. That's how it is everywhere. Okay, so we have all these people moving in around us everywhere. There's no good guys or bad guys, you shall understand that. No good guys, no bad guys. It's a mess, all of it. You cannot trust nobody. And then we have the other. That was number 8. That was one of the people in there. Another person we can connect to my family, and that's very fucked up. Now there's meeting a beautiful woman in, and then we can connect them to Sweden. And I know that Sweden have something to do with the mental hospital at Do too. And is connected to FN. I think there's a correlation with FN through that. I don't believe there's no good people down here. And I believe that. Maybe there is, maybe not. I don't know. I don't think so. Nobody have said nothing to me. Yes, one person have actually said something to me. I will come to that later. And then we're still in number 8. Over those people, we have somebody that's connected on my shit too. I know they are connected to the police. Definitely connected to the police somehow. There was definitely flagging with their clothes when they go to fight class. Something the police is being educated in, that kind of police self-defense. It's always where you are taking in the clothes, because they're dealing with people they cannot hurt, but have to put them into arrest without getting a case on their own ass. So that's their defense system always a kind of a pacify the other person, and they are very much using the voice to distract the people they are trying to arrest, so they get like a shock, when they try to arrest them. So the voice is a very big deal for the police to use to distract the people they're going to arrest. That's something you'll learn too when you begin to it. They learn too about the area they're standing in with the other person, when they can defend themselves with real hits or kicking if they feel themselves threatened on their life, if the person that's going to be arrested will not be arrested. So they was definitely showing that, and they have the times down here when they are coming and going. Today I had a experience. I have a neighbor upstairs who have just bought the apartment, and it seems like people want me away from them, and I don't really understand that one. I have definitely felt that, but they show a polite face. But I know too they are connected. But in what way, I don't know. But I can see they have a time like everybody else down here. I don't think it's a coincidence. I know it's not a coincidence, but I don't know their role. I have received one profile where I did spot something about that hard work is paying off. And that's true, it does. And that is exactly my problem. They're disconnecting my kind, and then they're taking the work for themselves, and it's not allowing my kind to have a progress in this country because it's related to some crazy people that they put out of war because of the science they are very much aware of. They was aware of me before I knew they was aware over my person. And they are aware over you too. That's what you shall understand. They are aware about everybody in this country. What I have seen is there's going like 10 meter on every street, and you have one of their kind. That's why they put down the police station in Denmark, because now they're sitting everywhere and holding us in our hands over our technology. So back to the road. That was number 8. Oh yeah, I'm not sure, but for many years ago, I had experience with one person that she was connected to TV2. I'm not quite sure about that one, but I know TV2 is a new channel in Denmark that you have to pay. Even when you pay your license, they have some kind of payment. And yes, then you ask yourself, what have this to do about TV2, a television? This have actually a lot to do with the media, because you cannot have a phone if you don't pay your license. You cannot see the television if you did not have license to pay. So it's nearly going hand in hand. They are in control of the information that you shall receive. What they can allow to publish for you. That's why they fear the net and have a lot of restriction on it. In my case, a person like me who can digging into the information and actually know about what is going on in the whole world, they fear that information will come out even when they try to cover over maybe a worldwide event. It can be cosmic, it can be between countries, there can have been a mistake, it can be a experiment, there was failure, so it will make some pollution, and they don't want people to panic. It can be diseases, it can be alien invasion, it can be many things why they don't want the information to run free. But they want to have a united world, but they don't want to allow a united world without having solutions to limit people who can make other people aware over our time today. You understand, they are registering everybody, how much they earn, and if somebody dies away and giving their firm and everything to a new person that will be single, they have definitely the chance to digging after the gold, overtaking people's lives, only letting their people put a ticket in to have the chance to end up. That's actually how you actually piece by piece can take a country and limit it for its own population. And that actually what we can see that's going on in our country today. That's what I believe. all these places where we have apartments, there will be a group that's running the place, just like where I live. And you can have police people sitting in that group having their passions, just like over my life here. I've seen them other places than where I live, so I know this is a fact. And I think you should be aware over your own communication. Okay, that was number 8. Let's go over to the other apartment. I think that's number 6. I noticed a person, and I believed that this man was sitting on my YouTube account. I had an experience one day that I noticed that. And then I find out too that he was connected on my Instagram, but on the Instagram, it was not on a full time. It was only when it was possible. When there was a hall for me to communicate with other people in my country here, when the people have not met in yet, they were sitting over my account on my life, on my phone, disconnecting me. When there was a possible to reach out, the man just out in the blue was shouting stop. So he definitely know that he was not present, and he was saying no. Something I don't like. He want me to stop, have a connection with other people. Why should he say no? When it was possible for me to reach people through the net, then he's saying no to me. I have another experience. There was a fucking war on the mental hospital too. It was no different than where I'm living. The only difference from that place and where I was living is on the mental hospital, you could not go away from it. And you have to deal with people in there because you was eating with them. You could not drive 100 meters away from them. You have to deal with the shit that you already was coming from. But here, it was so clear, much more clearly than where I live. They could act, but they could not hide. So that's the problem with the mental hospital. And in there, I have one person, and there was this person talking about Switzerland. And then I have another person from, I'm not sure, but I think he was from maybe connection to Texas. And this person did say stop to me too. He said stop to me too. But then there was this issue because in the hall, I have this brown fuck. Actually, my problem. I have those people who sitting closing my shit down, calling themselves for what X. And then when there was a hall through the net, I have this brown fuck sitting and taking advantage of the hall in the net, thinking they were so fucking smart to sending some shit on my account. I don't know what I actually should do with it, because they will go about maybe 3 minutes, and then the new overtake the account, and then I cannot even answer back on what I have just received. I can see it, but I cannot really answer back. Only if the people that's sitting over my shit is allowing me to have a conversation with that person. So do you see my dilemma? I know there's a cooperation through the people who's closing me down and those who's sending me shit. I know that is the cooperation of fooling us. So I think we have two countries having a war over people. You hear what I'm saying? Two fucking countries having a war over people. So what kind of people is that? I know the Deutsch was against many countries. They was going into Denmark, into France, trying to go into Russia too. I think I know what they try to do. So today, remember, they lost. They lost. I don't say about it's a bad or good idea, but of course it depends, because I can see my own situation here. So I will definitely have an opinion about it's good or bad. Would I have been free? Would I have a life if the Dutch people did win? Just asking. Would I have been free? Today? Am I what they see as Aryan? Blue eye? White hair? Ah, not white hair, nearly white. Or would I fail because I share maybe something all the Jews have? I'm not quite sure on that one. But I'm trying to figure it out, so I know what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with United States of America, and I'm dealing with some Russian connections. That's what it seems like. Or European connections, Deutsch maybe. And we have a car more, so we just wait a minute so we get uh, but see, it's definitely yeah, it's definitely a mess, all of it. my brain experience, some fragments I can tell you about, and I'm definitely thinking about that one because we have a person going in and the car is driving away, and we have, what is the clock now? It is 1:30 in the night, and we know there's a shift here in the night, and now you are witnesses right when I'm standing here, and there's a shift in the middle of the night where you're all is nearly sleeping until 3 o'clock, I think. That's how it is in Denmark. Okay. That was the stairs. That was number 6, I think. So let's go to number 4. Number 4, I know there is some people living in number 4 too. I had an experience that they maybe was connected to the police. Oh yeah, we have a police more in number 6. That's a confirmed one. Then we go to number 4. I know we have police in number 4 too. I think we have police. I'm nearly sure that that's kind of police too. We have a mixed couple, and I know they have something to do with my accounts. Once again, maybe the experience of receiving something from brown black people. Once again, I can connect that one to number 8 with the Englishman. And another apartment in there, I have a shift through the Englishman. And then number, I think it was that 4? I think it was 4. Okay, let's go on the other building on the other side. Then we have number 5. Definitely, we have a problem with number 5. That's for sure. There have even been one person coming over to me. He drive in a green car, have an Asian woman. And he was saying to me it was because I did not have a work. But he did not pronounce it like that, but I know he meant it like that. I had other experience now that they have shifted those people out. And they actually, the new people are driving in the same fucking car. Just passing 68, where I know I have problems too. I actually have people sitting in there on a PC. I could connect to number 78, the house that I can connect to number 7. Now I could connect that over to 68. See, that's fucked. It's like rolling around, you understand? But if they have some people down here that they prevent me to have contact with, why are nothing saying to me? That's pretty fucked, I think. Oh yeah, that was number 68. Then we over number 5. I noticed a apartment in number 5 when I move in here. I know I have a person in number 5. Military fuck too. Again, this Irish kind of type, like we have in 78. They have this look. And I'm not definitely sure where they're coming from. About it's from Deutschland, Russian, Ireland. You know, this kind of long face with this kind of a soldier body type. Not too many muscles, but enough to strength and enough to hold on. This kind of training where you are taking 325. Yeah, around that, or a little bit more. It could be more. So I noticed that in number 5. But the most fucked up thing is the people know about me. And I mind myself when I move in here because I think I could mind myself and live my life like that. But then I'm finding out that is so fucked up this down here that everybody have something to do later on with my person. Later on, I understand why people move in here because of the attention I have reached. I could understand why people move in here. But the first time is that there's people around me who's noticing me and have shut down for my life until I begin to produce movies. I know it was shut down. You understand what I'm saying? They prevent me to reach a girl, a Danish normal woman, and not some fall in the shit. And that was the only thing I reached. And there was Asian, there was Arabian, I think. There was older than me, have children, but no single Danish normal women, always, sorry I'm saying it, shit. All what I wanted reach on the net was closed down. Like they took it for themselves. Later on, I find out that it's connected to Sweden. All of them have this Jewish shit bear. I even see that through Deutschland, so it could maybe be Russian. Some sick invasion through when the Berlin Wall was going down, maybe that it have spread into Denmark too. I know we get something new to elect after the Boston War was over. And they was making a conflict in our country with Muslims and Danish people. But the only thing I see was that politic party was against me, provoking me through the media. No, that was conservative, but I think that party was a part of it too. Oh, low battery. The weirdest thing is too that when you get reclam and people move in down here, you can very fast put two and two together because the reclam is hanging to their account. So it's not so hard to find out who there's actually moving in around you. You'll just see on the reclam that you're receiving when they move in. The weirdest thing is when people are leaving this place, the same people is making me aware over what I shall receive. So it is English and British. It have to be English and British people. I know I said maybe CIA, but I'm not quite sure on that one. It could be Russian too. That the disinformation to other people is to fool them as well as me. So the informations will never reach me and I will never make problems over the real reason. See, that's how fucked up it is. But it's funny because if I take the mental hospital, when I see on the profiles on the people that's working there, where the connection is going to, it shows United States of America. It shows New York. But see, in the same time, they don't tell you about the reason why you're ending up on the mental hospital. But I know this, that my body have definitely changed big time. Not to that better, but to that worse. Huh? And that's how it is when other people taking a decision over your life. Because in their fucked up head, you're maybe sick when you're not. I heard them say that they should connect my spiral. And there could maybe be something about that. So what they have done is very bad, but there's some pluses too. But I don't like. I don't like what they have done to me. And if that is United States of America, I don't like United States of America. I don't want your women's. I think you are sick then. Then you have a country based on lies and not all the rights that you're talking about over there and the freedom. And then I'm just disappointing because once again, I'm just like everybody else. And I like all the shit too they represent for me. But that's just like an old woman who have been to a plastic operation. You think you get a beautiful, maybe looking young woman, but what you actually is getting is maybe a old, tired, Finnish woman. I want my fucking freedom. This is enough. I want some answers. There's American car holding on the street too. So I know over in Sweden that they very much like American cars. So if this is United States of America that fucked up my whole life, I want to know about this. If I am Russian through their head, I want to know about that. If they think they can come to our country and take our people, and lie for us and buying our ground, taking our women's and taking our monies. If this is a wise plan through Sweden with the world trade and all that shit, I want to know about it. If this is an invasion, a planned invasion through the world trade, I want to fucking know about it. Making a crisis, buying up the grounds, pressure, another country I don't have to pronounce. Because sometimes I'm wondering, why does you people know everything? Why is the information reaching you people over there so fast? If you touch my love life, of course I want to complain. Of course I don't want you to live if you keep on messing around with my fucking life. Of course you want to keep it secret if you're doing that. because you are representing freedom. But when the science is going to fill more than the freedom, then the lies is going in progress. Is that how it is? Or am I just too confused because it's a Russian Deutsch invasion over here, and the only thing that's represented for me is Facebook and Instagram and everything from United States and Sweden and England? No. I have to be FN. I have one thing that's so big that is definitely pointing in that direction. But I care for her, so I don't want to involve her in this shit. Have you heard about the little green man? Have you heard about that? It is a cell that's looking like our own cell. It even works as like our own cell. It's a very weird thing, actually. It have some, it missing something in its cell, so it's not looking like our own cells. That's why we can habit it, this cell that can evolve inside of us faster than our own cells, because it don't have those two strings, I think it is, like a normal cell have. And if you are in possessed of this cell with your own cells inside your body, they will say you're a little green man, a little frog. But there's a lot of disinformation about this shit. We had, there was a time, low battery. There was a time over, I think it was in the United States, where the cloud was filled with this cell and it was raining down on population. But now there's disinformation everybody about this because it's people as a race. I don't know about the Dutch people try to get rid of it. And that was what the war was all about. I'm not really sure about that one. But something is suggesting the opposite. But I'm confused about that one. But I will find out what the truth is. Oh, bye. Fuck my.